Given the intelligence you've seen, is there any reason for the public to be worried?
Well, look, when you have sensitive sites like Picatinny Arsenal, you have, of course, President Trump's residence at Bedminster, and you have other no-fly areas. Those need to be enforced. We need to know who's behind it. But right now, I think law enforcement seems to be, the Department of Homeland Security and the Defense Department are kind of all doing this and pointing at each other. So when we come in, how do we enforce these low-level, long loitering, could be dangerous drones? And one thing for people to appreciate, they're evolving so rapidly. It's not necessarily somebody that's just on the other end flying it. They could be following pre-positioned GPS coordinates. They could be coming from offshore.
We still don't really have any clear information on what these drones are or where they come from. But one thing that is clear to me is that there seems to be, or at least there appears to be, a huge disconnect between the reality on the ground and the reality that the White House and the current administration are trying to paint out for us. It's like, I don't expect the truth. I want the truth. We all want the truth, but I do not expect to get the full truth from the government. But what I do expect is for, at the very least, for them to pretend as if they're on the same page when it comes to something like this. At least try to sell the illusion that you have your ish together and that y'all know what's going on here. At least try to sell that illusion. Because right now we are sending a very clear message to the world. A message that we are just in total disarray over a few drones. We're disoriented. We're discombobulated. No one knows what's going on. Some forms of government are saying this. Other government officials are saying this. The military is saying one thing that's totally different than what the president is saying. And local police officers are saying something different than the military and the president. And the FBI is saying something different than the White House. At least give off the illusion that you guys are on the same page and kind of have this under control. Because right now you are sending the world a message that we are vulnerable and weak, regardless if it's true or not. Regardless if even we're behind these drones, you're still sending that message out into the world. What you're doing right now is you're chumming the ocean. This world is filled with predators. It is filled with sharks that are thirsty and ready and thirsty for an opportunity to bite. And we are just throwing chum in the waters to attract them. Look at us. Look at us. We can't handle a few drones in the sky. Our whole entire government goes into a meltdown over a few drones and no one's on the same page about anything. Look at us. We're attracting a lot of attention right now from the rest of the world. Regardless of who's behind this, we're attracting a lot of attention. And this goes beyond Republicans, Democrats, and stuff like that. I've seen just as many Democrats calling this out as Republicans. That's the crazy part. We should not be at a point where we're hearing one thing from the Biden administration. Meanwhile, Governor Hochul of New York, the governor of New York, is saying that this is a very real problem. Because now they had to shut down an airport. They had to shut down runways because of drones. Not in New Jersey, but in New York. So to say these things aren't posing a threat, that's not true. They're literally at a point where we're at right now is in the real world, on the ground. In reality, airports are being shut down because of these drones. Meanwhile, the White House is kind of trying to downplay this to the extreme. To the extreme of, oh, maybe this isn't even really a thing that's happening. But tell that to the people who had their flights delayed. Tell that to the airport that had to shut down the runways because of all the drones flying overhead. It's getting crazy. It's getting wild. And like I said, they're not even able to sell us the illusion that they're on the same page. And that's crazy. But let's go ahead and roll this news clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
More questions than answers this morning.
Look at it.
Frustration building with each new drone sighting across the Northeast.
And seems like there's multiple drones all over this airport tonight, man.
The FAA forced to slow traffic at Stewart International Airport Friday night north of New York City because of multiple reports of drone sightings in the area. Overnight, Mayor Eric Adams saying his team is taking the reports of drones in the region seriously.
We're going to have an immediate response. We're getting ready to check. We're getting ready to look into some new innovative ways of, if need be, to take down drones with the proper permission from the FAA.
And New York's Governor Kathy Hochul saying this has gone too far, demanding that the Biden administration step in by directing additional federal law enforcement to New York and the surrounding area. In Ocean County, New Jersey, the Sheriff's Department launching its own industrial drone after numerous reports of sightings in the area. One deputy reporting roughly 50 drones coming in over the ocean.
The facts are that they are very big objects in the sky. The fact is that's just concerning to us, is nobody has seen them land or take off.
Reports of drones flying near a naval weapons station in New Jersey as well.
And I did talk to the commander there. His men are seeing it right there at the base. Are you kidding me? A munitions depot of that caliber, and these drones are hovering in close proximity to it.
Now, I want to read a statement to you all from the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul. Last night, the runways at Stewart Airfield were shut down for approximately 1 hour due to drone activity in the airspace. This has gone too far. In mid-November, I directed the New York State Intelligence Center to actively investigate drone sightings and coordinate with federal law enforcement to address this issue, and those efforts are ongoing. But in order to allow state law enforcement to work on this issue, I am now calling on Congress to pass the Counter-UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act. This bill would reform legal authorities to counter UAS and strengthen the FAA's oversight over drones, and would extend counter-UAS activities to select state and local law enforcement agencies. Extending these powers to New York State and our peers is essential. Until these powers are granted to state and local officials, the Biden administration must step in by directing additional federal law enforcement to New York and the surrounding region to ensure the safety of our critical infrastructure and our people. So right there, folks, slippery slope, if you ask me. We are on a very slippery slope here. Now, one of the interesting things is, from her claims, she was already taking action, already having conversations about this in mid-November, before most people were aware that any of this was going on at all. So I do find that interesting, and maybe we'll dive into that a little bit more in a future video. But they're talking about passing this new Counter-UAS Authority, Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act. That right there scares me. Because what is that really about? And what is this whole situation really about anyways to begin with? You know, it might feel good right now initially because it feels like finally someone's stepping up trying to do something. But, you know, we got to be careful here that the solution that they're trying to sell us for this problem isn't worse than the problem that we're already having. Because what really comes with this new, thing that they're trying to pass here? What does it really entail? What's within the fine print? What are you trying to do? I mean, one thing I can tell you for certain. Owning a drone is not going to be the same. If you are a drone enthusiast or a drone hobbyist, go ahead and get ready. because they're about to come and hit you with all types of regulations. There are going to be drones taking off the market. Whatever comes of this, one thing that is going to come of this for sure is a major crackdown on the usage of civilian drones. Now, why would the government want to do that? I can think of many reasons. I don't think this is a power that they really want regular everyday people having access to, especially because now we're seeing, drones be weaponized, which they were weaponized from the beginning, but we're even seeing, your regular everyday drones that you buy from Walmart and Best Buy. These things can be weaponized, and they could be used to collect information that the government might not want civilians collecting. A lot of different things. So I'm really skeptical when it comes to how they're going to go about solving this problem, because I'm really looking for what type of shady stuff they're going to try to pull here. And I honestly feel like we're in a position that no matter what the explanation is behind these drones, the government isn't going to let a good crisis go to waste. They're going to get something out of this. Regardless if it's, they're going to get more money for, certain defense contractors. They're going to hype people up for more war. I think there's going to be a lot of things that will come of this. We're just going to have to keep close track of how all of this is playing out. But right now, as I was talking about at the beginning of this video, no one in our government is on the same page. And that's kind of scary, because you got to think about the message that is sending to the outside world. And I think that we are in a position right now where a lot of the outside world is patiently waiting, just hoping for America's downfall. So, interesting thing to think about. But for now, let me know your thoughts below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.